Driving from Grand Coulee to Republic. Going up a pretty windy road. It looks like I'm going to run into a lot of fog. I just drove from Omak to Grand Coulee and I ran into snow on top of the pass. But here, it looks like it's going to be fog. Hopefully it doesn't turn into black ice on the road. It's 39 degrees, so hopefully it doesn't cool off too much. Let's turn this camera around where you can actually see. Not much to see, it's pretty foggy. This might end up being a challenging drive. You never know. It's clearing up now. This won't be too bad. I like to use my cruise control as much as possible, but some of these windy roads, like they're supposed to slow down to 25 for tractors, and the curve is 40 or 45, the speed limit's 50, but when you're driving in the mountains, it won't be consistent. Pretty out here though, nice and quiet. Kind of like driving through Yellowstone. So I'm out in Washington State, in case you don't know. I just made a delivery to Grand Coulee Dam. It was actually to the dam. Now I'm headed to Republic, which used to be a big-time gold mining town. And I just read an article where they found a claim. They think it has about $3 billion worth of gold in it. So, at $1,800 an ounce, approximately, that's a lot of gold. Might bring some life back to the town, because there's not a lot going on there right now. I probably won't record much longer. I thought maybe I was going to be in for a treat with all that fog, but I drove right out of that, so it's not so bad. Just your typical mountain road. Lots of curves, speed up, slow down, watch for deer. Sometimes when it's windy, you better be watching for trees falling down on the road. I've seen the aftermath of that. Guys out with chainsaws trying to clear the highway so people can get through. On the way from Wenatchee, where I live, to Seattle, sometimes the wind gets so bad it blows a lot of trees down, and they have to close the highway for a day or 2 or 3, depending on how long the winds last and how bad they are. And then they get snow and people don't put the chains on like it says to. A couple weeks ago, there was like 30 semis that didn't chain up. They spun out, closed the interstate. And then I think the next day or a few days later, a whole bunch of cars spun out, closed the interstate again. When it says put your chains on, they mean put your chains on. It doesn't matter if you have all-wheel drive or not. When it gets bad enough, you need your chains. Well, getting back into the fog again. Maybe I'll leave my camera on just a little bit longer. See what we run into. Temperature is 37 now, so it cooled off 2 degrees. Which isn't bad. We've had a really mild winter. We've had a lot more rain than snow. If all the rain we had, if it was colder. There's a cattle crossing. That means you're in open range country, so could actually find some livestock on the road. There went a sheriff. I don't know how often they go up and down this road today, but it's good to know they go once in a while anyway, in case somebody has trouble. Like hit a cow or a deer, and you can't go anywhere. And I doubt if there's any cell phone reception here. The way the weather is, I'm glad the speed limit's not 60. Not that it would matter, because I wouldn't go 60. Fortunately, this year it's been above freezing most of the time, so all the moisture we've gotten, which has been a lot, has been mostly rain. I've only had to use my snowblower one time, and I think my stepson shoveled one time. Well, last year, I believe it was last year, we didn't get much snow until one night we got 2 foot of snow overnight. We have those carports with the canvas awning, and we had to go out there several times to clean those off. I've seen several people that didn't bother and their carports collapsed. 2 foot of snow weighs a lot. Was it last year? Buffalo, New York got 6 foot of snow overnight, and they had to move the football game to, was it Detroit? Even north of where I live, somebody told me they got 3 or 4 feet that night that we got 2 feet. I think I ran my snowblower when we got all that snow, and then my stepson came home from work about 10 o'clock. I heard him shoveling, or he came in. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm going to go shovel." I'm like, "I already did." Yeah, he said, "Well, there's another 6 inches. So I went outside. Sure enough, there's another 6 inches. I think we ended up cleaning the driveway 3 or 4 times, and the awnings, just to keep up with it, because it's really hard to keep up with 2 foot of snow. Yeah, this is going to make my delivery time just a little slower. Instead of going 50, going 35. And since I'm recording, I can't see my full map on my phone, so I can't keep track of the road like I normally do. I recognize where we're going now. I recognize that burnout car. Right now, if you could see, there's an awesome view out to the right. You can see the whole valley. It's really cool. But right now you can't even see 50 feet. Now we're headed downhill through the mountain pass. Real windy. You can't go very fast here, even in good weather. I've only been this route a couple of times, so I'm not real familiar with it. remember the burnout car because I usually come from the direction I'm going, headed to Grand Coulee. And I stopped there one time. Just wanted to get a look around at the view, and I think the first time I was there I was going to stop, but I didn't because I thought I was coming back this way. And then the next time I stopped, there was a burnout car there, and if my memory serves me correctly, just down the road here there'll be another burnout car on the right. I don't know what's up with that. If people steal cars and then bring them up here and set them on fire, or maybe people want to get rid of their car and collect on the insurance, or this windy road, so you can see how steep that is. I gotta slow down to 20 miles an hour. I didn't see a sign for it, but there it is. I guess I was down to 30. Yeah, when it's foggy like this, you just can't tell the curves too well. Hope there's no deer or bear or elk wandering across the road. I'm probably going slow enough. I would stop okay. Yep. There's the other burned out car. Right there. So I don't know what's up with that. Seems kind of weird to me that you have a road with two burned out cars on it. And you would think that the state or the county or somebody would come up here with a tow truck and haul them away. Oh good, we're driving out of the fog again. Back to normal. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but on the left there, those trees are all burned. Black and charred. There's some areas around here in Washington where the trees have just been completely burned. There's nothing left except charcoal sticks sticking up in the air. Well, hopefully nothing eventful happens. I'll go ahead and turn the camera off. It's a nice view. It's a nice drive. Probably really nice. You know, I've been here a couple times when the weather was better. It's real pretty. Yeah, there on the left there's a burnt down tree. A lot of these trees, if you look at them, are black. So they've been burned. But it must have not been bad because they survived. Sometimes they don't. It takes out a whole area of trees. This last year it wasn't bad, but we've had several years ago, we had some really bad fires that burned a lot of trees and almost took out 2 or 3 towns completely. There was one town called Chelan, and it caught the roof of this fruit warehouse on fire, and then it went to the next warehouse, and then to the next warehouse, and it burned right down to the edge of town. I thought, if they don't get this under control and the wind's just right, it could take the whole town out. And that almost happened where I live in Wenatchee too. A grass fire got out of hand, and it burned several houses, and then the ashes landed on a warehouse that recycles newspapers, and it caught on fire. And people were driving all over the place trying to get pictures of it. If you look up here on the side, those trees are all burned and dead. That hillside's all bare, probably from a fire. Anyway, people build houses out in these areas, and they don't stand much of a chance when there's a fire. They just have to evacuate, come back and hope their place survived, and a lot of times they don't. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Today is January, what is it, Wednesday? It must be January 3rd, I guess, 2024.